Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Midlife Crisis. Today we're going to attempt to fix something that I've been waiting to fix for over a year. If you look back in our original PPI video with Kevin from Supercar Garage Atlanta McMedics, we had a problem with the soft close on my 2015 McLaren 650S. Today we're going to take these Tesla parts and fix it once and for all. Let's take a look at Kevin's analysis of my soft close doors back from that original PPI video over a year ago. So here, my soft close does close, but I think I have either a latch or a catch problem, because what ends up happening is, in order to get the window to go back up, so if I just shut it, soft close, and then it doesn't shut all the way.
It releases back?
Correct. It's like the sensor, the top won't go down unless I hard shut it.
You may need a new latch.
Okay.
That latch is probably gone.
Yeah. Now if I go down hard, oh, even harder. Nope.
Yeah, held it there.
There you go. So
probably a new latch. Maybe an adjustment. He does have soft close latches. This one's not doing it. It didn't go all the way down either.
Nope, did the same thing, didn't it? A year later, let me show you the condition that they're in. Basically the same exact thing as you saw from Kevin. One thing that I have a problem with is, as you can see, the lock is not allowing it. Even though the window came down, the door is kind of open. I have to hit it again a second time for it to open all the way up. That is really sucking. That's really pissing me off, whether it's from the outside or I try to open it from the inside. Now, if I go with the soft close, you see it go in, it goes in, but it doesn't completely close. Not unless I press it really, really hard. Now this is the driver's side. The passenger side is unfortunately the same exact thing. So here is the passenger side. This is actually a little bit better. So I just push the button once, opens just fine. Not a big deal. Now I'm going to do a soft close. It goes in. It runs like longer than it should, and you still have a little bit of gap. So if I hard shut it, and then that gap goes away. So that's what I'm hoping this is going to fix. Still got that gap there. So now I'm not the first person to make this video. Let me give credit where credit is due. Sean from McMedics was the first one that I ever saw do a video on using Tesla Model X Chevalier soft close, which is the same exact manufacturer that makes them for the McLaren 650S. Now what I'm going to do is see if I can do it. Again, this is not a how-to. This is how I did. We're going to give it a shot. We're going to see if I can fix my soft close doors with Tesla Model X Chevalier soft close. And let me show you another reason why I chose to go this route over doing the OEM McLaren soft close doors brand new. You know me, I like to save a buck. As you can see from Exotic Auto Parts out of the UK, it's 793 pounds for the left hand and the right hand size close. So that 1,500 pounds, that's like at exchange rate, $1,700 for the soft close door latches. Now those are OEM guaranteed to work. Don't work, you can send it back. Let me show you how much I spent on the Tesla Model X soft. As you guys can see from the screenshot above, I paid $129 each for the right hand and left hand Tesla Model X soft close door latches that are made by Chevalier. Now Chevalier is the manufacturer that provides these parts to both McLaren and Tesla. So by cross-referencing the part numbers, and I'm going to go ahead and put the Tesla Model X part numbers here on the screen for you, you have the possibility of finding these. I say possibility. These are hard to find. It took me probably 4 months to find both of them, so I had a complete set to do this at the same time in the same video. Now these are coming from a record. They could be just as bad as the ones I already have in there. That's the gamble. $1,500, $1,700 of savings versus $260. So I'm going to show you how to replace these and get these in the car and see if we can fix my soft close door latches. Now, stay tuned to the end of the video. I have an extra surprise, something we're doing to the interior, one of those things that you do while you're in there and something we're going to get rid of and replace inside of my McLaren 650S. So let's jump into it. In order to get to those soft closed door latches, we are going to have to remove the actual safety belts, and they have airbag adapters. So we are going to set off a code if we do not disconnect the battery. But before we do that, we need to maximize the amount of room and make sure we can get into this electronic beast. Good thing is we got a spider, and we can take the top down, put the windows down, make sure we maximize that room. So let's get the car ready to take the battery off. Before you disconnect the battery, you're going to want to make sure that the seat is as far forward and as far up as possible to get as much access to the back as we can. Don't forget the passenger side. Now let's get the battery disconnected. Get some zip locks, that way you don't lose all your parts. You only have to remove the back half of the tub on the 650S, since they don't give you a hatch like on the 570 or the 720. At least it's just the back half of the tub. And you've got 3 on the floor and 2 on each side. Save them to the front there. And now pull out the back half of the tub. Okay, you're going to need a 10mm to take off the battery lead on the negative terminal. Get her nice and loose. Now, you're going to pull this off. It's going to be a little tight, so just use a little screwdriver right here. Pop that off. Boom. Now, one thing I always do is I stick a rag over that negative terminal. That way it can't come back in contact. Now we can disconnect some airbags. All right, I've already done some stuff, kind of some preliminary steps, because I break trim pieces, and the good news is I did not break these. So here in the center part, I actually have the full carbon fiber rear back trim. So that includes the middle section, the trim piece that goes along the sides, which covers up where the seat belt and the soft closed door latches are. Now, the secret to this one, and I'll show you when I put it back in, we took all of the carbon fiber pieces, since they were a little scratched up, and we did not repair those when we did the full renovation of the car. That was one of the pieces we did not do. So I took them over to Edwards. He basically re-cleared them. We got them polished up, made them look perfect. So we're gonna go pick those up later in this video. So at the end we can reinstall them. It's gonna make it look absolutely fabulous and refreshed. But the secret to this is, you guys will notice these connectors where that middle piece is, it does not pull up. You have to pull out. So if you pry with a pry tool or something like that, make sure you're pulling out kind of at a 10 degrees out bubble. Now, these particular ones are a little interesting because it's Velcro at the bottom, and then you have a kind of a smattering of clips, and I'll show you once we put it back in what it takes to actually get these pieces off. So you start with the middle, and then you remove the two side pieces. So I didn't bore you with pulling the trim pieces out. Now, you guys will notice I already have the seat belts kind of out of the way. So one thing that I had to do, if I can pull it out of here, come on, oh, it's already in there, pretty good. is down here at the bottom of the seat, the single 15 millimeter bolt that connects this to the actual seat. You need to disconnect that, pull that all the way out. Now, so this doesn't retract all the way up. All I did was I used some zip ties to secure this so that it couldn't go all the way through that, and you know, we lose this. So now we're ready to figure out how to get that seatbelt off. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that, but as always, we'll figure it out together. Not sure if you need to do this, but we're going to do it just to get it out of the way. This is basically for the intake sound generator. You have this little clamp with an 8 millimeter on it. So we're just going to get that loose. Just try to get some better access to the seatbelt and all the bolts. Right here, it looks like we have two 13 millimeters to get the seatbelt bracket out. Let's see. My guess is this big one sitting right here. All right, and this big one right here is going to be what looks like an 18 millimeter. Okay, the last 13 millimeter bolt is right here on the side in order to get the seat belt, call it cradle out. I'm gonna break that loose, and then we'll just get our fingers back in there. They are pretty long bolts, so pull that out. And that should, let's see here. All right, right there, that is your airbag or safety connector tied to the airbag system. Now we got to be safely disconnect that, pinch that out, get that disconnected from the seatbelt assembly. There's the airbag connector. To get that off, you're gonna have to press on the sides and gently pull it out. Be careful with it. It's pretty brittle. But now, in order to get the seatbelt out, now you don't have to get the seatbelt out to do the soft close door latches. You can just kind of move the seatbelt out of the way. But we are going to be replacing the seatbelts with a little surprise later in the video, so stay tuned to see what we're going to do there. But we need to get something on that guy and get it out of there so that we can get the entire seatbelt out of the car. To get the final seatbelt out, this is an 18 millimeter. Now you're going to have to put a wrench on the bottom on the bolt underneath, which I'm worried about dropping. But we will give it a shot. This biggest pain in the ass. Got to hold that on the bottom, and that has a very little lip in order to get a socket onto. 18 millimeter, pain in the butt. And the seatbelt is disconnected. All right, guys, we got the driver's side seatbelt out. I'm going to go over now and do the passenger side. I am not going to bore you with the same repeated steps to get the other seatbelt out. Again, you do not have to take the seatbelt out to get to the soft closed door latches. I'm just doing something, you know, while you're in there. So we're going to get these sent off to get them re-webbed to a different color. Super excited. Stay to the end of the video to see the final look.
One eternity later.
So we got the seatbelts out. Let me show you what it's going to take to get the soft closed door latches out of the side of the car. So let's get into it. Pulled out the seatbelt frame just to get it out of the way, which meant we needed to disconnect. And it's obvious that someone has been in here before, but this is the emergency latch to open the door. So we're just going to put that to the side. What I want to show you guys, which is a little bit hard to see, is this right here is a plastic insert, basically, that's held in with, it looks like epoxy. You've got the quick release as well as the electrical going to the soft closed door latch. Now, if this is loose already, somebody's probably been in there before. Mine on this particular side is either epoxied back in or has never been done. So I'm not quite sure. It looks kind of sloppy. So it may have been epoxy back in, but I doubt it. That side over there, as I was doing it, just fell out. So somebody's been in the passenger side before. So we're going to get, this is probably going to be a little bit difficult, but let's go get a kind of a pry tool to see if we can break out some of that epoxy and get into where the soft closed door latch actually lives. Let's see here. Oh, no, this has been out before. It was just in there fairly tight. All right, so you want to pull that back, and that's going to be your access to get to the soft closed door latch. Yeah, this is, this has been into before. Yuck. All right, before we start taking the screws out to pull it out, we got to make sure you pull the electrical out. You don't want to pull on that. So this one, let me show you. And this is going to be very hard to see. Kind of do this by touch and feel. There's actually a little red thing to pull back. It's like a safety clip. And then you can press on the clip and pull it out. This is where you have to have the fingers of death. And being left-handed doesn't help. Ah, there we go. As you can see, this is the little red safety clip. Pull that back out, press down, pull out. All right, this is going to be a 4mm Allen. And you got the 3 Allens, if you would. And these are going to be a little tight, but then they'll just pop. Now there's going to be a washer on the other side of the screw. Don't lose that. Before you do the last one, you're going to want to put your hand inside just to hold it so it doesn't fall down. Now, the trick here is you want to pull it out and remember the orientation. Okay, what I mean by orientation is you've got the emergency release from the inside as well as the outside key that's down below. That is to the top, okay? Meaning that the plug is on the bottom. You want to remember that. All right, we need to basically disconnect these because we're going to reuse these existing cables. We do not want to rerun these. These go throughout the entire body of the car. So on this side with the adapter, you're going to have 4, let me think, 1, 2, actually 3 7.5mm Torx. And so we're going to remove it while it's still connected to the car. Now don't lose these. These are very, very little. And they should not, oh yeah, there's 4. I don't know why I can't count today. All right, and so you're just going to gently open it and pull it apart, and then you'll see the internal kind of exposure of the soft closed door latch. I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. All right, this little guy. This is a gear that sits from one side to the other. You want to make sure that that is in there because that's what turns the soft closed door latch. So if that falls out, make sure you do not lose it. We're obviously not going to reuse this. This is in pretty poor shape, but make sure you're paying attention to where that is. Okay, you guys will see that this lever right here, there's 2 of them. There's one that actuates here, and the second one actuates to the back. Now, we need to remove these from this lever and out of this kind of dual unit right here because we're going to be reusing those. So we're going to do the front one first. Since we're not going to use these again, I'm going to open this up a little bit. See if it'll help. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these out from the edge here. One. And that's going to release some tension. Now they're both just hanging there. Pull that back, and that'll pop out. Second one. A little tedious. And then that one as well. Now that there's no tension on it holding it, we'll just, I say that, they're very tight. There we go. And pops that out. So these two you're going to leave hanging here. Try to remember which one's to the back, which one's to the front. I'm actually going to do myself a favor. Take a little bit of painter's tape, wrap it around this one, and this is going to be back of lever. And again, this is the driver's side, and I'm going to label the other one front, just so I know which one goes in the front of the soft close and which one goes into the back. All right, let's get the other one apart. Okay, so here is our Tesla one. Now, same thing. This one already had the two cables on it for the driver's side. So we're going to again use that 4mm Torx to open this up and take these off, because we're going to be connecting it back to these ones. And we're going to pull it off pretty easy. And you'll notice that one didn't fall out. So that's awesome. A lot newer, looks a lot nicer. Again, we're going to pop these out at the end here. Don't need this one. And that just, whoop. Don't need that one. Throw that one away. All right, so now we have just the brand new soft close door latch. Now we need to connect it back to where it was. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the one that says back, and we're going to kind of pop that into the slot there. So squeeze that in the slot. Hold that. Pull my third hand out, let that go back, and then I'm going to slide that back into the tension holder, and there it's in. I think we'll leave the flag in there just for a second. Now, same thing with the front. Pull that back, put that puppy in the hole. There we go. Let that slide. And again, now here's the interesting part, right? So, do I have... Yeah, okay. Now we got to slide that puppy into the slot. All right. Now we have both of them in there, and they're both tight and connected. Let's put the top back on. Now again, got to make sure that lever is in there, and it should, as you'll notice, it's not quite fitting, sliding in. There's kind of a little trick to it. It's almost like a slide to get it onto the grooves. There we go. Back together. Let's put our 4 little baby Torx back in. Okay, so remember, these cables are to the top. So we got to get it in the orientation that it's going to go back into the door. Now, the nice part about this is that your plug is long enough to plug in before you even put it back in the door. So we'll be able to test it. Make that sure that red notch is down. Got our 4mm screws back, and now we're going to put this back in the same orientation we took it out. Want to make sure that we line up our Torx so we have the correct position. There we go. And let's at least get the top one in so that it'll hold it into position. And for now, we're just going to put it in there. We're not going to tighten it 100% till we get all of them in. All right, here comes the moment of truth. Freaking nervous. I don't know why. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. So, nice and soft. nice and smooth, baby. And if you remember, it took me 2 or 3 times to get the door latch to release. One, clicking up. Oh, thank you, thank you. That is awesome. You know, taking the gamble for the Tesla soft close on the McLaren. In this particular case, it worked out for me. It may or may not work out for you, but I gotta go get the other side in now and do the same thing. But the driver's side is absolutely harder because of the 2 cables and everything than the passenger side. So we're gonna get this all put back together, and UPS should be hopefully today arriving with the brand new seat belt, so I can show you what they finally look like, guys. So soft close is back in action. UPS finally showed up with our original seat belts with a new orange webbing. Got rid of the black original webbing. Seatbeltplanet.com. Check them out. This is not a sponsored video, but I think they did a pretty good job. Let me show you a little bit of what it looks like inside the car before we throw this one on the passenger side. All right, you remember when I did the original upholstery and we changed out the orange and the seats and everything in the McLaren? Well, I wanted to match up the webbing on the seat belts. I never liked the original just all black. They kind of hide in the interior and don't really accent anything. So we went to Seatbelt Planet and we got a new orange webbing and replaced the black one. I think it looks great. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments. Would you have changed the seatbelt webbings if you were already going to change the soft latch like I did? Pretty easy add-on mod to the 650S or any McLaren actually. So now I'm going to go dig into that side and show you guys what it takes to put the seatbelt back in before we get all of this trim back in and give the final reveal of what it looks like. The first thing we want to do with the seatbelt cradle is we got this little lever here in the back. We want to put those 2 together and then sink that down. And you'll see right there, there's already a kind of a recessed bolt hole there that we're going to go ahead and put this bolt right back into, and it doesn't need a nut on the backside. All right, you got the seatbelt in the little like locking cradle, and then we got an 18mm bolt that goes in that we just need to cinch that down. I should be using a power tool. Couple things. Now that we got it in the frame right there, make sure that the seatbelt plug is to the inside of the vehicle. We're going to go ahead and use for now, just to help us hold this up while we plug a few things in, we are going to use this bolt right here, the one that hangs on the top, and we're just going to go ahead and put that in the cradle right there and just use it as something to hold this up for us as we start putting things in. All right, let's get our seatbelt plug back in. Don't have a lot of room to mess with, but just got a little bit, and it goes in there sideways. That's just a nice little plug right there. Snap that back in, and our seatbelt is plugged back in. Now that our seatbelt's plugged in, we can go ahead and kind of get this into its final position. One of the things you want to do before we screw the cradle back in is we want to make sure that the emergency pull tab is down here and to the left, because it's going to be plugged right, or we're going to have to put it right back into that holster right there. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a couple of the bolts to secure it to the sidewall of the cab. We're just going to use the 13mm bolts that go into the actual tub and get those to help kind of place our seat belt. We're not going to tighten them all the way in. We're just going to get it to place them. And we got 3 of those. We've got basically 1 in the back, 2 in the front. We got 1 in the very back. We got the sound generator hose on this side that we have to plug into the harness to hold it in place. Right, got the sound generator hose. Make sure it's still plugged in back here. That's good. Now, we have this, which is the pull for the emergency release. And that has a little cradle harness. It's right here that we need to make sure is in that little cradle right there. And it's just kind of a booger. Kind of hard to get it in there. There we go. Got that all snugged in there nice and tight. Now comes the pain in the butt part. We have to tighten that bolt with a bolt underneath, which we probably should have done in a reverse order, but we'll get through it. I'm gonna get this hand tight right here until it's all the way up to the top. There we go. Now we're gonna have to use a socket and a wrench. This thing is a pain in the butt. Socket on top, wrench on the bottom, and turn forever. All right, these are the carbon trim pieces that I had Edward re-clear. We need to get the emergency release and the seat belt through them. We've got the emergency release pull through. Now we need to bring the seat belt through the top part. That includes the belt clip. Squeeze that through. And now we just leave that hanging. Now we've got a couple different clips we got to put in order to make this thing connect to the back of the car. So we've got these little white push things that basically push into the side of the chassis. We're going to go ahead and put those in. There. All right, and let's get it in. And if you notice, I put the convertible top up just to give me some room to get into the hole, basically behind here. That in there. As you're doing this, you're going to need to pull the trim up and around the carbon piece to sink it in. And then you're just gonna have to feel through. You'll see kind of all the locations that pop in. There we go. Pop that in, get the Velcro seated. Get that one in, clip, clip, push. Now our seat belt is through. Now we need to connect it down to the side of the seat with that 13mm bolt. Now, the center piece. Now, if you remember from the beginning of the video, I said that this pulls out and not up. So when we go back with it, we need to make sure that it's the last piece that goes in, and the angle that we do it in is down. Or excuse me, not down, but it also helps not to have it upside down. Slide that in there. A little bit of a persuasion, and our middle piece is back in. Now I need to get rid of all these fingerprints. All right, let's get the seat belt tied down to the side of the seat. And this is a 15mm bolt. There is our final product. We've got the orange seat belts, and the carbon trim is completely in on the back, re-cleared. Looks fabulous. And the orange is pretty close, not too far off. I like it. What do you guys think down in the comments? Tell me what you think about the orange seat belts with my custom interior. Drop some comments down below. Tell me what you think. Should I have left them black, or does the orange kind of add a little something to it? Here's a front view through the front windshield. Dude, the orange just pops off that black. It's like, oh, it's just like floating in air. Love it, absolutely love it. Well, that's it. That's how you replace the soft close door latches on a McLaren 650S. Same thing for the MP12C. We were lucky. We got away with it with some Tesla soft close Chevalier soft close door locks. So super happy. We improved the McLaren 650S. And then while we're in there, we used some orange seatbelt rewebbing from Seatbelt Planet. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Would you have changed the seatbelts from black to orange? I absolutely love it. Just continuing to build my spec. You know, instead of buying your spec, you can always build it. So, and that's what I'm doing, one modification at a time. If you guys like McLaren content like this, please subscribe to the channel. Give this video a big thumbs up. Appreciate every one of you that's out there watching and commenting. As always, thanks again, and we'll see you next time.